Welcome back to a new video. This is the workout I did from Sunday. I was quite sore from the previous day, obviously because I went heavy on just about everything, but I was still able to get a lot of productive work in. So I did a similar warm-up as I did on the previous day with the split squats and the isometric wall sits, and kind of modified how I did the wall sit. I did it kind of like against the box, but the idea was the same, and I got a similar feeling from it. But made the mistake after I did that warm-up of sitting around for a little bit and playing chess, and kind of had to like re-warm up. But it was fine because I knew today wasn't going to be like a crazy day as far as any movements that I would do, just because of how my body felt. But I started out with some hang power snatches, and those actually went really well. I was able to work up from 60 to 80 to 97, which is from 80 to 97 is a pretty big jump. I believe I jumped from 80 to 100 in this specific movement before, but I wanted to jump to 107, so I figured jumping to 97 would be a bigger or a better jump to go to there than to 107 versus going from 80 to 100 to 107. I don't know, just I saw the green plates and figured I'd use them today. But I missed the first 107 because I extended a bit early, so I wasn't able to get my full body into it. And the second one, I did a much better job at it. In fact, I almost did too good of a job at it because I felt the bar start to go behind me a little bit, like I was overextending. But definitely good to catch that power, and I felt like I caught it in a really high position, which is really interesting. Especially because like the last one like pushed me down into the bottom, and it fell forward because I was early. But definitely happy with that. I think that's the most I've done as far as the hang power snatch, whether it's above or below the knee. I don't generally do hangs at all below the knee, but I think that is the most. I think 105 is the most I did before that, so definitely happy to be able to get that. When I went on to do some power clean and presses / push presses, I definitely felt the soreness from the previous day session with the cleans a lot more. So I knew I wasn't really going to be able to push up too crazy heavy on them. I was able to go up to, what was it, like 92 kilos, even though it wasn't really a very strict press. I definitely felt my legs helping me a little bit, but happy to be able to kind of get around there. And it wasn't a true push press, nor was it a true overhead press. It was something in between. But I don't know, it's nice to be able to get them. I'm not too stressed about the strictness of my pressing because it's not a tested movement, so it's nice to be able to just kind of push up, and it kind of gives me somewhere a bar to try to reach the next time I'm doing strict press. But went up after the 92 from the push press after that rep to 107, and the 107 felt very hard to do on the clean, at least like soreness wise. Wasn't like physically a very difficult weight for me to do, and the push presses felt pretty heavy, so I just cut it off there because I knew I wanted to do more pressing, but I also knew I didn't want to do more push pressing, anything that involved flexion of the legs. So I didn't want to do any squats or pulls since I did those yesterday, and with my quad tendons being a bit sore, figured it'd be good to not do more movements that would work that area, and decided just to do a bunch of volume in the overhead press. I started with 60 kilos just to warm up, but then kept bumping the weights up to, what was it, 72 or 77 kilos or something like that. I basically waved up to like, I think 77 kilos, and then waved back down as it got more difficult, and did like 4 sets of 5. I think one of the sets was on the drop down was just a single, just because it felt heavy, but got a ton of good volume in the overhead press. So I definitely want to keep doing sessions like that, just to continue to kind of push for this year. Really this year, since I'm going to be turning 30 at the end of August, is going to be a really big year for me, because one of my goals to do before I turn 30 was the 140, 170, just in both movements, but to do them together in a session as well. It's not as important to me, or I should say it's not important to me at all to do it in competition. Obviously it'd be kind of cool to do it in competition, but just to hit the numbers is kind of what I'm chasing, and eventually be able to put some of those numbers in a competition setting would be nice. But I train for fun, and I'm never going to be an important lifter, so it's more important to chase the progress than the arbitrary standards that are set at a competition when you can just train and have fun. But hopefully I'm able to get to that point. I think it would also be really cool to press really strict press 100 kilos, and that will certainly take a ton of work to be able to do. Potentially that would be another goal that I would have for this year, And when I say for this year, by the time I turn 30, so the end of August, that's the end of my true year. But a lot of goals as far as that goes, and as most people have when they are strength training, is to get stronger in all the lifts. But the main one for me is obviously that 140, 170, just to continue to push to that point. Ideally with that 140 it would be without straps, but at this point I'll take anything and hopefully be able to touch that weight and not just do it from the blocks but off the floor. So I have tried it, I think last summer, a couple times from the blocks, and was able to even miss it behind, but I definitely need to get a lot stronger to be able to start taking cracks at that and really starting to push the PR, my current best ever snatch of 135, and start to make that a more routine, start to make 130 plus snatches more routine. But one step at a time, one day at a time. And I think the biggest thing I can do is try to get a lot of sleep, try to eat a lot, and just be aggressive when I'm training in the gym and try to be smart about that aggression. But anywho, that's it for now. I'll talk to you on the next one, and I hope you all have a great day. Peace.